convey it to go in different direction. Hence why you have acts, statutes, and codes that were created from the same constitution we have all on the rights in it. And every single thing will transpire happen through consent. You see the pre? So you have more than one different ways how you can obtain the live birth record. And you realize that some people get the verification letter and the certificate of live birth, while some people get the verification letter plus another thing. You see, pray, which is that are the letter from I think Abby did ask about it. That are the letter will come from out of the office of the Governor General. But both documents can be used in verifying the identity of the living man or the living woman. So the second step of what they are now is to make clear evidence to separation of title. Step one is identifying and verifying the local registered stock, or we should even call that birth certificate and certificate of live birth. Step one. You see me? Step two, you now have to separate yourself from that birth certificate identity. You not hear me though?
Yeah.
Separating yourself from that birth certificate identity or that STRAWMAN identity. So it not get mixed up no time at all again in the system. Because what we have to do is set the record straight. So we end up down at the island record office to make the record straight. So what go on here now? We are going to have to do a copyright, trademark, and DNA declaration to prove that you are actually living. Because a corporate fiction does not have DNA. A corporate fiction does not have blood, and people will consider themselves to be a citizen. This is how the system view you as someone that doesn't have life. You lower yourself to be a citizen of a corporation, and thus why them treat you like you and them is not the same thing. Them will treat you like dog, literally. You see, pray. So the second step, you know, as you show the one, say the local registered stock. They have a system we set up with them called the National Payment System. And the local registered stock act create a system where the birth registration generate a financial instrument. So we are talking about the same documentation. They have a private side of the birth certificate and a public side. Basically, the public side is known as the birth certificate, and it is only used for identification purposes only. While on the private side, you have different types of financial instrument that was created from the said documentation. You have different financial instrument that was created from the same documentation. And we are talking about the driver's license, the ID, the whole of them things, they are securities that was created from a birth certificate. You see, pray. So, establishing the transfer procedure. And we are talking about transferring assets from out of the public and carrying assets into the private. And it boils down to the reconveying of that assets from which part it led to another place. The Conveyance Act of Jamaica. This is how I use to validate whatever I say. The merchants carrying... You know, see the screen though?
Yeah, man.
So, the merchants carrying away or disposing of mines and minerals or purposes connected therewith and includes a grant or license for mining purposes, will includes codicils, instrument includes deeds, will and statute, law, securities include stocks, bonds, debentures, and shares. You see, pray. So, with the same thing, that people been asked, with discharge, with debts and things like that. So we are land subject to any encumbrance, whether immediately or payable or not, is sold by the court or out of branches and sale freed therefrom. We have to break it down a little bit. So under a contract to sell and assign a term of application years derived out of leasehold interest in land, the state conditions intended. So remember, we did that talk about the Administrator General, and the Administrator General, them deal in a estate management, and estate management boil down to the properties. You see me? And the properties, them are every single thing that is connected to the land. Alright, let me see if I can pull up. I'm there a while ago. Right, here. When I see this now, this is a definition for land. Unless in contrary intention appears, land includes land of any tenure and tenements and hereditaments. That means tenements and hereditaments means say your place and position and the right, so you own. You see, pray. Corporal or incorporeal, that means that if you're in the system or you're outside of the system, and houses and other buildings also, and undivided share in land. So basically land is every single thing that is attached to the soil outside, including the house, the trees, you, the bird, the bees. Without the land, nothing at all would be possible. You see, pray. So these are the conveyance act right now. No? Unless a conveyance means unless a contrary intentions appears, includes assignment, appointment, lease, settlement, which is a key word. We have to settle the records, settle the dispute with we and the government, the business we are going. We have to stop the contracts, so we have to settle everything. You see, pray. So, assurance and covenant to surrender made by a deed and a sale mortgage. So this is another word we are looking to. Because the whole of we have a land property, which is a physical body. Because remember, say the Christian system created a Christian state. And them have a Christian narrative where say the first man will come from the earth, him come from out of the dirt. And the dirt is the same thing as the land. You know what confuse nobody, you know. So if you not follow, you can give you a confirmation. Somebody say, you know, overs what take place. You see me? You know overs what go on down? So the government knows that them can't really own no man or woman because that is a crime against living people. So what them say them do, them control the land through the crown estate. So every single thing they now want estate and it get transferred from one farmer to a different farmer. And the land now moving up. It is the rights. All of the rights are attached to all of this we are going, you know. I still have more people, so they want to come in the class. I just see them can add up more. So the land ban, you know, are the same thing the Administrator General used to say them have land or personal property in trust to be applied to a specific charitable purpose. And from yesterday we've been around through the charitable trust and show the people them how the charitable trust really work and how we can stay so boobs and convey every single thing in the charitable trust to our trust. If we know what we are doing. The Administrator General list out the information and people would have wonder how I love the page or so. This platform here will now look on give you every single information you need in regards to the trust and transferring all assets. So look what I'm going on. We have to break it down. No, I read this all over time, but we have to break it down so the ones them can get it. You see, pray. So a charitable trust is a type of trust created where land, right here, so you see the keyword right here, so we are talking about land or personal property is given in trust. If you don't see it, you don't tell me so you don't see it. Somebody confirm with this so you don't see it. When you see land or personal property is given in trust. So the land is your physical body that was registered to the government. And the personal property is your rights that was given in trust. All of your rights to vote, your right to make a decision on your own behalf and them sitting there. Everything the thing going on the Constitution, and the Constitution is built from the people them power and the people them rights and the people them will. This is just one piece over here saying, because this is important. This is going to show you every single thing we are talking about in the class. So, Henry Salman Atskin is a popular philanthropist, them call him in Jamaica. So, him donated the civil estate under what? Right here, so people. Under his will. So, him use him will for do what? Transfer every single thing from out of the public to in the private. One day if you see what go on. People, if you know what go on, don't tell me, you know. No, I'll ask nobody. So this is the importance of thy will and why thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So we could go further upon the Administrator General website. You know. Because they tell us that other people do the same thing through trust funds. See, let's see a keyword there. Trust fund. So the H.S. Atskin Memorial Operating Theatre was built from the trust fund. That means that the assets them were there in the public trust, it actually have funds, because land and personal property, it generate funds, and that is where the accountant general work along with the administrator general, and two of them say them are general, them have rank over citizens, because them have, you know what I say? So, administration of estate now, because remember say who have to take back who own an estate. Intestate occurs where an individual dies without leaving a will. So if you don't leave a will, intestate occurs. And when intestate occurs, there are minor beneficiaries. The Administrator General is mandated by the Intestate Estate and Property Charges Act to administer to the estate. So this is how the government is planning to reconvey all our assets them from the paper farmer to in the digital world where them set up the e-government Jamaica. I will not joke about it. So intestate is when somebody dead without leaving a will. And bet you ever tell me who them said dead? STRAWMAN. Hello? You not hear me now, people? Yeah, so the STRAWMAN is actually a dead entity. That is the deceased estate. The name in a full capital with your ID, your birth paper, every single thing. And you actually pledged to use your physical body as the asset that will be backing that estate. I will talk about that all the while. So that is the land or personal property within a trust, and them trick enough to feel like say, in a words them use still. So any person, and them talk about not me, them talk about a trust, because a trust is a person or another corporate fiction or probably a citizen them talk. Any person other than the Administrator General who wishes to administer an estate of a living man, which is an individual who dies intestate where there are minor beneficiaries, can only do so with an order of the court. And this is such a beauty, right? The order of the court is the same thing as the will. But we are talking about the last will and testament, because of the probate court stamp off on that. And the probate court have to deal with people, estate, and the management of ones and ones and their properties. You see me? So anybody who wishes to do that, any person, and the person what I'm talking about is the same thing as your foreign express trust. Can I get an amen from anybody? So the foreign express trust is a person. Just like how the STRAWMAN name is a person, the entity, which is a trust, is known as a person. So the person who willing to do that, it have to happen through the order of the court. So when you do your will, and you put your will on the record, and step 2 is to still know. When you put your will on the record, because after you verify your identity and separate the two of them, so you know, say me and Abantu Zulu and that are the STRAWMAN Kemari Smith over there, say in a full capital letter. Me make the system know, say this is my image over here, so with declaration of identity, DNA, and whatever statutory declaration is necessary to make them know, say you and the STRAWMAN is not the same thing. You see the pray? After we do that, you know, we have put a will on the record, and the will and testament is very vital in every single thing what transpire right now, because we don't know if you hear about Bunny Wailer. Bunny Wailer have a situation after him fall out, him family them take 3 years before them could get back in estate. Bob Marley the same situation, because the man them slap him and say, yo, we have a whole lamp on him property because we name our name. You see me? And it take a fight. Bob Marley picked them did have to go link with the devil. I mean, Chris Blackwell. Not the... When I hear my people,
Active one.
yeah. So him did have to sign a contract with Chris Blackwell in order to get back all to them father estate. So after a report is received about the person who have died, this is after we kill the strawman, you know. I'm going to show you how we kill the strawman in a style, neatly. You see me? Declaring that the strawman is not you and the strawman is a dead entity on the public record are two public servants that is in control of your estate is basically you are kill the strawman. So after a report is received that the strawman is dead, which the strawman dead from the moment them create the strawman is a dead entity. But what them really mean is that once nobody now use the government name account again, or the trust account again, which is the charitable trust or the public trust. You see me? What them are going to do is, they must say, who have died, intestate. And them never say, if you're dead and leave a will. If you're dead without leaving a will, the Administrator General will take over, what I read earlier a while ago, and go right back to the government. So leaving minor children in the form of completed particulars required for the Administrator General. The Administrator General, like other personal representatives, will. So this tricky again, you know. I'm going to read it again, so who never get it a while ago can get it. Them say, once a report is received about the strawman account that you are no longer using, because you know say you're living man and you are not that. So the strawman, them have said dead. If you don't have a will on the record, normally when people dead, them don't left a will, because normal people say, oh, no time for blood clot or the right will. Old people alone right will. And blah, 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 blah. But people have sense. You're not going to this situation. You won't have intestate because you already put it on the record. When them say minor children, when you live in minor children, that means you're a citizen. You're not yet corrected the status. We say, yo, you're old enough. And at the same thing, Skellington done did a reasonable one at a time. It's like G did I say, you have people where correct them status, but still act like say them are the minor. So if you have a foreign express trust, which is the correct thing, and you have an EIN number, and when you check it, all of your taxes, them are go through the strawman said way, you're still in the jurisdiction of the strawman, and that is the way how the government is going to pierce your trust. So the separation is keen. If you do your will and all of your documentation, then but still you haven't put on the record, say, yo, me and the strawman is not the same thing. You see me? I am a living man over here. So if you don't do the statutory declaration and you skip that and do two, it come like say you kill the strawman without doing a will. And that is why it is important for make the assignment or the declaration of value or the transfer. You see the print. Never show now you know. I feel like never go a little bit in that said way. So this involves submitting after that go on the Administrator General like other personal representative. Like even me, I would be one of those personal representatives. So they must say the Administrator General act like them have sent sometime, but basically we know what them are do. So them say them are go investigate and confirm the assets of the deceased, and this includes submitting requests to financial institution, organization, individuals. Financial institutions such as the Bank of Jamaica that owns your estate. You know what I say? The Tax Administration of Jamaica that owns auditing and accounting information about your trust fund. Organizations like the places them where you sign up contract with. One famous place where we spend millions run through that for me. If not billions is the Western Union. MoneyGram and all of them places they were black me and think a scam where a scam. You see the prayer? And also individuals. So for confirmation of funds, stock, shares, and debentures investments being held for the deceased estate, which is the strawman and the former deceased employers for confirmation of employees' benefit. So people, including unpaid salaries, vacation leave, pay, gratuity, and national housing trust contributions, relevant documents needed will be blah blah blah. So look what go on. The man them tell you say every benefits we will now get right now as debtor. when push come to shove and the strawman dead, Administrator General have to fuck up every single thing. Or whoever going to do the transfer, whether it be one of the participants, them will take part in the national payment system, because that's something we always run through with ones and ones. The national payment system there to facilitate payment to and from the government of Jamaica and their clients. And the clients of the government of Jamaica, whoever been offering services. You see me, the clients are actually the customers, the investors of the government of Jamaica. And you have a client information form. When people reach on the level, we have a show how to fill out the client information form to ensure say all our rights them go back to which part them come from. So them say them are going to need a statement of account from the bank and other financial institution, insurance policy, contracts and things like that. You see, pray. So we are verifying the registered stock. So to verify the local registered stock, we draft a letter to the you can do this. Draft a letter to the main participants who create all of the stocks. Them. And we are talking about the accountant general. Accountant general is responsible. So administrator general deal with your physical estate. That means your physical estate hold property such as land and personal properties. You see, pray. So when all of that start work, I remember saying they now one corporation and corporation say, hey, since nobody now use it, make a borrow it from them people, you know. And the people them say the people them turn investors and them are gonna repay the people them in a format to the people them with a glad feet. You have to pull it up and show you from the local registered stock act. Said we. So when all of that transpire now, the farms, you have the Ministry of Finance, because the Accountant General work on behalf of the Ministry of Finance. You know. And what them do is them do the bookkeeping. So the Auditor General, Accountant General, and the whole of them people are one link. One link. Hold on, man. Piece away. Alright. So when I say my father, intesty, we don't cover intesty and show us on the need for put a will on the record and things like that. I say me they do run through the will, but afterwards we have a show on what the documentation them look like and how we can operate with them. You see the prayer? So we are notify the Administrator General and the Accountant General of our status as the creditor and the authorized beneficiary, the authorized representative and beneficiary of the Treasury deposit account. Because all we have an account on the Bank of Jamaica and that supply the government of Jamaica with the initiation of credit to and from the consolidated funds. So we request a disclosure of all securities, bonds and registered stock under the Access to Information Act. You know the Access to Information Act of Jamaica that grants people where are actually part of the system rights, you know, to request any information at all or from any governmental agency, and them can't refuse you as long as the information they are available. You see, pray. So include and people will not get on a certificate of live birth yet. If RGD are going to hard time for getting a certificate of live birth, you can use that as a little sauce to make sure so you get it said way. So we analyze financial records, and we're talking about the ISIN. Examine every ISIN for every security. ISIN is the same thing as a QSIT number, an international identification, international security identification number. It's the same thing as a ISIN. You see, pray. So that's what we need for liquidate all of the bonds them. So when we go through the national payment system, you know, we know say the national payment system will facilitate payment to and from the government of Jamaica through the Bank of Jamaica that is a perfect servant to them to serve the whole of week. But through them condition of mind and them have a set of people where a promoter esoteric lifestyle, a cult behavior lifestyle where them keep the knowledge secret to them one another. And them not really letting people just so. And if somebody do forget in them try change up the whole of the laws them to make sure say nobody else can come through the same loophole where the person they come through a while ago. So who have to gather all of the QC number them. Say drivers, every security where you hold and to push it further. Under the Companies Act of Jamaica, everything where you write your name pan is considered to be a security. You see me? So them are going to do a tracing as Administrator General told you earlier. So them are going to trace and do a in-depth accounting of every single transaction will ever take place in your life. And that's all like what the boy them say in a revelation. In a revelation, them say every single thing when you pull up in front of God or in front of whoever keep the records, the deputy keeper of the records. When you pull up in front of them and them pull out the accounts of all of your sins where you ever commit in your life. What are your sins? When the man them would have known say when you do something wrong. When you hear me though people?
Yeah, man.
Always.
Yeah. Hope everybody are follow it. No, last nobody run on one part. You see me? We still there. Step 3 this today. The practical instruction to verify the local registered stock. After we link the financial institution, because we now go through the Administrator General, because Administrator deal with intestate, people dead without leaving a will. We have to make sure so we put we will on the record. A biblical insight from all of this is Proverbs 13 verse 22. Them say, the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. And the sinner is basically whoever born in a debt. The righteous according to the Bible, because they make it sound like a people who do good and people who do evil. It's all based on equity. And the equity what the system I talk about is your fair market value. Your fair chance to operate in a freedom realm without causing confusion amongst yourself and amongst others. So them also say, I will give you the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places. And at the same thing with a boy along when you put your documents them on the record and you declare who you is, you will no longer be a sinner. The wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. And you know we are the righteous people. Because the righteous basically means you do the right thing when it comes to equity. And equity is fairness and your fair market value. You've been a servant to the corporation for more than 18 years. So now you reach the age of consent and you're able to renegotiate every single thing. Especially now we see the big switch that take place and every single thing I go to the digital format. It's simple. People can use in a 11 days from now one big shift will take place. You know the easy thing what people can do. Before you even verify your identity, for my general will say I verify my identity. My brother, you just get an idea of your soul name or your soul trust. And you need a family trust outside of the public, you know. In the public you have private and public. And outside of the public you still have a real private, which is wildlife private. We call it wild private up in the bush them. No government, none of them place and them sitting there. So the public they have to serve the private. That means that the system was set up, the building them where we are look on down so, and the town areas that they have to serve the other places them on the land will belong to the private man and the private woman, the sovereign people them of the land. So how we go about transferring the wealth from out of the private through the government to acting like them are the public to we out so we are the real private. Thy will must be done. You see me? Every single thing what we are talking about right now, it depends upon the will. Without the will, nothing at all would be possible. So a conveyance of land shall be deemed to include general and shall, by virtue of this act, operate to convey the words in conveyances, land, all building, erection, etc., etc., etc. So I'm going to run through the last will and testament. I'm going to run through one of them last will and testament. over the info on the screen. 1 second, people. Alright. So the will is basically granting every single thing from out of the public to the private, to the private man, which part ever him want to locate or hang out or far or nothing like that. That's not it. Last will and testament. Alright, so this is a copy of a will. So the little part right so is a must for adding at the will. You see me? I remember say this have private information and I do not permit anybody to record anything out of the class. You see, pray. So, fourth, upon the completion of tracing and accounting of the entire estate for the strawman, it is in the intention that a gift of 100% is to be transferred to a person. And the person here says a trust that was set up with the post location of such and such. And the gift of 100% of the residual estate. And this is a long one, people. It belongs to all different type of rights and all different type of assets. As far as to... You know see it. Nobody know see it. None of the ones them know see it.
Yeah, man, yeah, so.
Yeah, see. I can see.
Okay.
No, I feel like Obama. I know that.
You don't know how I go on this for.
Take the device. Disconnect or reconnect.
Me? So it belongs to all lands, right? That's how we are starting from, guys. So was it in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. All lands in which testator has any interest, including the soil itself. All materials atop beneath the soil and surface. You can just put this alone in our will and it done this. All rights, including all bank account, all inventory. The most important part of the will is the biometric transferring this. When 2-3 years ago when I just come across this document, I'm going to read it out because it's kind of long enough, people. You see me? When I read it out and come across the rights them way we give to the system, it's a never thing, my father. Some whole heap of rights to stay and hand over to the system we don't know what go on. All biometric data and all of them sitting there. We stay some ups and hand it over to the system as I show you. All values associated with traffic tickets. When you know say value attached to traffic tickets. So when this is only discharge, you know, dates, you know, people. All signatures and applications for and all value associated with the library cards. Every single thing or anything where you name them upon, you have shares in that. You know what I say? Any document where you see a name upon, whether it's in a strawman name or in any format at all, where them write it, you have shares in that. Unless you get written as the debtor. And in the case of the debtor, in order for your debt exists, there must be credit. Which part of the credit come from in a real life? Most of the time the credit come from we. And we go further in the class to show you how the system borrow from Uno Right through them a borrow from you. Local Registered Stock Act of Jamaica. The one has a deed, you son. See, pray. The one here, them say, all payments that was made. See if we can pull it up quick and fast. Quick and fast. Quick and fast. Because this is important, you know. Local Registered Stock Act. We have to run through a couple of the definitions, them for now, so we can get on point. Because the bag of chat when me a chat, it's not really necessary, you know. What the people need to forget is the lingo. If you don't understand the language in which them words are being used, you don't catch every single thing we are talking about. You see, pray. So stockholder means a person holding registered stock and enter as the proprietor thereof in the register kept under this act. And that means that you are the owner. You all rights belong to you as the proprietor. It is in your hands. You see the prayer, the holder of that act. So right here, so them say, wherever by any law authority is given to the minister, that are the minister of finance, to raise any sum of money for the purposes mentioned in such law, whether it be for the road traffic act, what them call law, cause are still maritime law, or one of them housing act law there, whatever them talking about, the minister may, them never say must, may, if, but, or maybe right so, from time to time, as he may again deem expedient, raise such sum or any part thereof by the issue of local registered stock, to be called Jamaica local registered stock under the provision of this act. So, such registered stock shall from time to time be issued by the island, in the island by the Bank of Jamaica, which is the registrar, upon the best and most favorable terms that can be obtained. That means that the profit where the bank plan to give you, there is no offer as good as that offer the way they might give you. That means you actually pay for every single thing at all when you're in the business place. You don't have to buy nothing when you're going to the shop. Literally that they might tell you, but you must correct the record in order to step forward. We're talking about them things. You see me? So the principal monies, which is the main investment that was made with your land or personal property according to the Administrator General, the monies and interest secured. Interest mean the profit, them will grow upon it as security interest, because them so secured by any registered stock created under the provision of this act are hereby charged upon. The word charged upon, that means them are going to use it. Any money where they there, as long as it's there in the principal place, them are going to use it and shall be payable out of the consolidated funds and asset of the government of Jamaica. So the whole of that's supposed to go back to the proprietor. Remember them don't still way up and say, you know. So the holder is the same thing as the proprietor, and you supposed to have all rights in regards to what the minister say are going to be the most favorable terms that can ever be obtained. So all of the favor they're supposed to go in your direction, people. A register shall be kept by the registrar. Anybody have a birth certificate can look on it for me and tell me which part the one signature I come from or upon it.
Deputy Registrar Keeper.
So the same thing as the registrar. And up top them say who is the registrar? The bank where issue. See it here man my father, we just have to read between the line. So them say the island. This is issued in the island by the Bank of Jamaica. So who is the registrar? The Bank of Jamaica. You see what we are talking about now, my people. Everybody are following. I'm not last nobody run on one part. Hello?
All of us. We here?
Yeah, me have follow too, but they have say, I share screen coming out for mine, you know.
You know? Nobody at all has nothing.
So
We can see.
still a sing.
Who say them nasty? Life of a king. Life of a king, and you know, see what go on, try no star, my father. But this, me I read from the local registered stock act. Me I send it in the group when we're doing the class.
Yeah.
See, pray. So correction of all of that. You say something else?
I say maybe in jump out and just clean up, just in case.
Oh, man, I tell them.
What? Hold on, where you see? Where you say you see?
I'm gone already.
Yeah, man, jump out.
Yeah. So the banker, the aim about the bank of Jamaica, the Ministry of Finance, like them are who really have a page and make them know so we are request every single thing in regards to your receipt number. Because people will get them certificate of live birth and the verification number and realize on the bottom part of the verification letter, you see note that a receipt number was received after the child was registered. And when they get a receipt, it's only when you do a transaction, a sale transaction, or you buy something, or you exchange something, or something go on, investment take place, and you get a receipt to prove. So, yo, you can go cash out when you're ready. When you buy a ticket for cash pot or a lotto, you have a receipt, and the receipt is known as a ticket. In this case, the ticket is known as the birth certificate. Certificate. That's a ticket, you know, but them say certificate for some reason or another. So if you have a birth certificate, you know, we need to find out the QSIC number or the ISIN number. If you're in America, it's so easy. You have a thing with them call it Treasury Direct. We link you directly to your Treasury account. Who didn't know that? Alright, nobody know that. So in Jamaica, you have a Treasury deposit account. And the person who is in charge of monitoring your Treasury deposit account is the Jamaican Treasury, and them are the same thing as the Ministry of Finance or the Accountant General. Now follow it down. So the third part today or the fourth part, identifying the soul, the private identity and setting the record clear, you know. You see, pray. So the ITIN number. When I just learn the process, I realize that we did have to get an ITIN number. Because the ITIN number put we in a one foreign jurisdiction. Just like how the EIN number put you in a one foreign jurisdiction. The ITIN number is an individual taxpayer identification number. And it plays in the role of the TRN number. The TRN number is a local tax registration number. The ITIN number is an international tax identification number. So that have a link with the IRS. And why am I mention that? The indentured trustee or the indentured trustee for the Bank of Jamaica is the Bank of New York. And the Bank of New York is registered through the IRS. So all of the paperwork them for the Bank of Jamaica and the IRS them go through said way, but them go through another bank where take care of the bank. Because Rothschild own the Bank of Jamaica, Rothschild own all of the bank them where you see I push up the middle right now. The public commercial banks. You see, pray. So saying all of that to say, you have to do your estate and filing and every single thing to close. To close off every single thing with the IRS. The same EIN number. Because remember me I show you say, yo, if you have a foreign trust and the trustee of that trust is a citizen, that is the way the government are getting your trust, you know. You know that, no? It makes sense, no? But
Yeah, question. So how you get ITIN number?
You get the ITIN number using a W7 form at the IRS. So you have a virgin down a St. Anne, I think can come from. You might gatekeep. You charge $100 for authorize your documents them. So you don't have to submit your documents them go over IRS through the mail. So what him do is actually verify your documents them. So the certificate of live birth is organic and thing. And the original document, which is the verification letter and thing. It already verified. And your picture or you can use a passport if you already correct all of your documentation them with the surrender and correction, while you clarify the difference between the living and the state representative. That is something we're going to do on the statutory declaration, said me. You see me? You are going to make the brother authorize the document them, and him can send them off, but him charge a different fee to send them off. Yo.
Yeah, chief out of where I'm going on. Last part you mentioned, it's never come across clear.
Which part?
It's celebrating though. My role when play. The role when play.
The role where him play is a authorizing, him is an authorizing agent for the IRS in Jamaica. So him authorize your document them to be valid, so you don't have to send your official document them go straight to IRS through the mail. Or him have a second way will offer the service also, so you can use him second to do it if you don't want to do it yourself. If not, you can just get the W7 form. It's not a thing like the EIN number. It's not easy to get like the EIN number, because they have to actually verify say they're born in a real life and thing. You see me?
So how we connect to that person then?
You can go up on IRS form and look for your number. Now I'm saving a bit now. When I'm done, I look for that man, my father. You see, but you can go up on the IRS and ITIN number, and you have to see the authorized representatives of the countries. Then you look for Jamaica and you find him number, you click on it, you call him, and ask him what the fuck him up. Go with. You see, pray. Active, so after we establish, say, you know, the private man, yo.
So the number from the IRS, what role it play within the IRS?
What role it play within the IRS? We don't know if I answer that, but we can tell us the role where it have to play in your life and you correcting your status and taking every single thing from the system. It play the roles for the TRN number. Instead of you use a TRN number, you have a TRN number, though.
Yeah.
And that give the government jurisdiction over you, though, to pay tax to them, right, true? Yeah. So it you have a use to claim the TRN number. Because you must be a living man, and the living man need an identification number. Right? To identify you. And you don't want it to be local. Similar to what you do with the trust and the EIN, it you have to do with your physical identity and the IRS. But that's a one step. Because remember, I'm telling you, the IRS is owned by the Vatican. They collect tax in the Vatican. So afterwards, you want to disassociate yourself from the Vatican system. The Roman system, the Catholic system, or any one of them system. And then you are going to get valued as a high-ranking official on the ground, being a galactic emissary or whatever you declare yourself to be, a diplomat or whatever you call yourself, father. You see me? So biblical foundation behind this say, he who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit say to the churches. To him who overcomes, I will give some of the hidden manna. I will also give him a white stone with a new name written on it, known only to him who received it. You shall be called by the name that the mouth of the Lord will give. And the first one, I'm read Revelation 2, verse 17. The second one, Isaiah 62, verse 2. And if you know what them thing are people, can we take the time out and write down every single thing. If you know what them, we can link we and say, yo, Bible thing. Because we are starting run some Bible class, Bible school, different thing. Show people.
Man, do I have a question?
Yeah, man, sister.
You were mentioning about the Treasury Direct concerning the QC number. How do you get that? How do you do it?
How I get the Treasury Direct? How do
I do it if I want to get the QC from the Treasury Direct?
You have to contact whoever issued the security. I remember earlier when I said we have a link the Ministry of Finance. The Ministry of Finance issue every security in the corporation. So the Ministry of Finance over America would be the Federal
Reserve.
The Federal Reserve Bank.